Welcome back to the Upside Sports Network. My name is Michael. Appreciate you guys joining us for yet another live stream of another baseball game. Today we got the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Guardians. Now the Guardians, of course, took the first game of the doubleheader today, 7-4 over the White Sox. The White Sox looking for a little bit of revenge anyway. Lance Lynn will take the mound for the White Sox today, and I can't remember off the top of my head who's starting for the Guardians. It will be Pilkington is going to be the starter for the Guardians today. Kwan to lead things off for the Guardians, followed by Rosario, Jose Ramirez, the All-Star, Naylor, first base, Jimenez at second, the All-Star there as well. Nolan Jones, the top prospect anyway for the Cleveland Indians, in right. Clement is your third baseman. Luke Maile is your catcher, and Miles Straw is in center. For the White Sox, Tim Anderson leads it off, followed by Moncada. Third will be Andrew Vaughn. 4, Jose Abreu. 5, Eloy Jimenez in the left. Grandal is doing the DHing today in the 6th spot. Pollock is your center fielder in the 7th spot. Harrison, second base. And Reese McGuire rounds out the lineup batting 9th. Just about set here. The one thing most White Sox fans have already informed me of is how bad Lance Lynn has been so far this year. You got to hope with the All-Star break, maybe it allowed him to kind of settle things down, especially after dealing with injuries in the first half. That one misses just outside, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Kwan has had a nice year for the Guardians today. Thank you for joining us, Zach. Really appreciate it. He does have a good cutter. The one thing I want to see from Lance Lynn is be able to command the strike zone and get some strikeouts. That was always his best calling card with the Rangers. I followed him when he was with the Rangers anyway, as I'm a Rangers fan. But the trade anyway just hasn't really worked out so far to the liking of the White Sox this year. Not that Dane Dunning is setting the world on fire for the Rangers, but they were still hoping better than a 7.5 earned run average. That one's outside, and it's 2-2 now. Appreciate you guys joining us already. Got about 7 of you already with us. Make it 8. Literally just got out of work, sprinted home, got this thing going as quick as I possibly could for you guys. Another 2-2 pitch here for Lance Lynn. The pitch down low. Kwan is able to hold off. Good pitch there, though. Didn't miss the zone by much. Kwan hitting .290. The thing with the Guardians for years has always been about their outfield bats, whether they can get any production at all out of them. Kwan so far able to come through for him. Pops this one out into left, though. Coming on is Jimenez and makes the catch rather easily. And there is one away. Ahmed Rosario is next, hitting .296. Really has come on this year after struggling initially with the Mets, and then after the trade with Lindor, he was basically expected to live up to expectations. Really has kind of rounded into form here with the Guardians. Doesn't have too much power, but he is more of a gap-to-gap type hitter. Not really a slasher either. First pitch, another one inside, and it's 1-0. He is missing his spots a little bit here, it looks like. We'll see if he can tone it down as the game gets underway. Good pitch there right at the bottom of the zone. Beautiful couple of hops over to Anderson. Chest high toss over to Abreu, and that's the second out of the inning. As they show the Guardians RBI leaders before the All-Star break, Manny Ramirez led the way at 96 in 1999. Juan Gonzalez at 83 in 2001. Albert Bell at 76 and 94. And fourth on that list, Jose Ramirez at 75 this year. They really haven't been known for their offensive mashers over the past 10, 15 years. Really more of a pitching and development type of team. Be able to scratch across enough runs just to be able to support that pitching staff when needed. This season, Jose Ramirez at 78 RBIs now. He's tied for first in all of Major League Baseball with Pete Alonso. The set and the pitch. Right on the outside corner, but this one hits and goes into the gap. Jimenez will be there to cut it off. But Ramirez is going into second. Jimenez did not make a good throw in there. I don't think he was expecting Ramirez to try go for two there, but he does and is in there safely. Lackadaisical throw there by Jimenez. Cost them a base. If he was really paying attention, that would have ended the inning. Ramirez isn't the slowest runner, but he does have some speed to him. You got to think Jimenez should have been able to make that play. Naylor up next, hitting .279, 13 home runs on the year, 51 RBIs. Hitting over his last 9 games against the White Sox, hitting .400 with 3 home runs. Over 1,000 OPS. Safe to say he's doing a little bit of damage. The set by Lynn. Looks back at second. And the pitch. Just off the inside corner, fouled away by Naylor. That's 0-1. Appreciate you guys joining us here. A little after 6 o'clock, Central Time anyway. Not too many late games tonight, so we'll probably pick up a game in the second half of the game anyway, after this one. The set by Lynn and the pitch. Good fastball there. Rising fastball above the zone. Able to get Naylor to chase at it. That's 0-2. There's just some players that just don't like using batting gloves. There's probably about, 30, 40 of them in the league right now. They just like the feel of the bat, feel they can have a little bit better control over it. Now, whether or not that's true or not. Another fastball above the zone, even higher. Naylor able to make contact and stay alive. I think the Rangers have a couple of them that use no batting gloves. The Yankees as well. Mets have 2 or 3. It's just kind of a feel, kind of a comfort thing. You can see he's got all the tape on there, so maybe that's his form of a batting glove. Set by Lynn. The 0-2 pitch. Off speed. Bounced over to first base. Fair ball. Jogging over is Abreu and retires him on the putout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Guardians in the top of the first. To the bottom half we go. It'll be Connor Pilkington pitching for the Guardians. Tim Anderson to lead off, followed by Yohan Moncada and Andrew Vaughn. Yeah, the White Sox really do need to get their bats going and support their pitching. Pilkington, 24 years old, lefty. He's 1-2 on the year, a 4.24 ERA. Started 8 games, only thrown 40 innings though. 37 strikeouts. His WHIP 1.64. You should be able to do some damage here. His last start came on the 12th anyway against the White Sox. Pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned. Did give up a couple home runs. Struck out 3. He's all right. But that's what the White Sox did a lot last year and succeeded. This year they're not getting those big hits quite as often. Part of the reason why they're not having as much success. Thinking back to that Field of Dreams game, Tim Anderson was phenomenal in those late innings. Field of Dreams game this year is, I believe, August 11th. I will not be doing the live for that one. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it with all of you guys. That's going to be a spectacle. If you're any type of baseball fan, Field of Dreams game should be appointment television. It was that good last year. Hopefully, if it's even half as good, we're in for a treat this year, even with the Cubs and Reds being the 2 teams involved. Yeah, I think they just wanted to get the bat of Grandal in there, give him a day off from behind the plate. Trade deadlines creeping up on us, less than 2 weeks. Pilkington up there, working with a 5-pitch mix, 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball, slider, changeup. First pitch there to Anderson, swing and a miss. Anderson hitting .313, 6 home runs, 24 RBIs, and a .770 OPS. That .313 average good for 7th in all of baseball, or in all of the American League anyway. That one misses upstairs, and it's 1-1. Tim Anderson, an all-star this year. The set by Pilkington and the pitch. On the inside corner, a slow roller out to Rosario, flipped on to first, and Anderson is retired, 1 away. Good start here for Pilkington. I think they said it was 85 degrees in Chicago today, 65% humidity anyway. I would gladly trade that for our Texas weather right now. Moncada due up next. He's your third baseman today, hitting .210, 5 homers, 24 RBIs, and a .595 OPS. Really going to need some better production out of him going forward. Former top prospect, really hasn't lived up to the billing ever since he's come to the bigs. Having a really down year this year, though. That one tapped back to the screen, and it's 1-1. Andrew Vaughn would be next, followed by Jose Abreu. Rather have Gavin Sheets in there? Meh. I've liked Reese McGuire for, I don't know, 5 years, since back in the days when he was with the Pirates organization and the Blue Jays organization. One of the better young catchers in all of baseball. I think the White Sox are doing the right thing by giving him a little bit more time behind the plate. I mean, you expect Grandal to be back there in the postseason if you get there. The 2-2 pitch is blown by Moncada, kind of surprised him. And he was very, very late on that pitch. 2 away. I mean, Moncada's hitting now .209 after that strikeout. So, I mean, 1 out of every 5 at bats, assuming he gets 1 hit in the game, he's doing better than his average. So you just got to string the hits together is the important thing. Andrew Vaughn due up next. He's your right fielder today. 299 average, 10 homers, 49 RBIs, and an 808 OPS. Big swing at that one, and it's 1-1. Came up as a first base prospect. Had to be shifted around anyway, since Jose Abreu is, of course, locked down first base for the White Sox for almost a decade now, it feels like. Good, nice off-speed pitch right at the top of the zone on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Well, it's still early in the game. They're still not used to seeing him yet. We'll see how they do second time and third time through the order. Vaughn pops this one up behind first base. Naylor called off by Jimenez and makes the catch. That's the third out of the inning. A scoreless first. We go to the second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Guardians. White Sox, no runs, no hits, no errors. Guardians will have Jimenez, followed by Jones and Clement in the top of the second. Well, I think they have good hitters that do different things in the lineup. I think you have some really good aircraft carrier type players in Abreu and Anderson. Anderson was not that, say, 5 years ago. He wasn't even that 3 years ago. The last couple of years, though, he's really stepped up. Grandal's having a down year at 193. Jimenez is only at 200. Robert isn't in the lineup. Pollock is only hitting 227. I think Pollock's a career, 270-something hitter? Maybe it's just Chicago. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you're just joining us for the first time, hit that like button and subscribe. We do try to do a lot of live streams throughout the year. I think this is our 5th or 6th one this week already. Last night we did the Mariners and Astros game. The night before that, Dodgers and Giants. Don't really choose any one team to follow. We kind of hop around. So if you want us to do a live stream of your favorite team, comment. Let us know which team you would like us to do a live stream of. Well, there's a reason why Pollock was able to be traded. I mean, he had a lot of bad money on that deal. The White Sox had a lot of money committed to their bullpen, and they had a little bit extra in the bullpen. So the Kimbrel was expendable. For Pollock, they like to do a lot of platoons anyway in the outfield, and having a $16, $20 million contract out there in the outfield when you're not playing every day, not really the wisest investment of money, especially after they lost Kenley Jansen, made the trade feasible for both the Dodgers and the White Sox as they had a hole in their outfield. They plugged one hole, yet they still have another hole in right. First hit pitch by Lynn anyway, misses outside again. Jimenez hitting .302 on the year, 11 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 848 OPS. He's probably been the biggest surprise on this Guardians team this year. Everybody thought Rosario was the big piece of that Lindor trade. Don't forget, Jimenez was also part of that deal. Well, isn't Robert injured right now anyway? Jimenez has his dealings with injuries as well. Pollock has over his career. So you're going to need a good 4th and maybe a 5th outfielder at times. You all have had Larry Garcia for almost like a decade. Former Rangers prospect way back when, was traded to y'all as a bench piece anyway in the Alex Rios trade years ago. And he's found a way to stick around that White Sox team for seems like a decade, I think. Into the shift is Jimenez, and that's the first out of the inning. He was never thought of as a hitter. He was always thought as a multi-position utility player that can at least hit for 200 plus average. You don't have to give him a lot of at-bats. You don't want to give your top prospect 5 at-bats a week. You want him playing every day in the minors. That's why a guy like Leury Garcia is very important. Is he? I don't know. I didn't see that one. I'll have to look. Because he was there for ever. No. He's still there. I mean, I would rather have Garcia than Harrison. That's just me, though. 0-2 now, ahead of Jones. Jones hitting .333 on the year. Lance Lynn finding the strike zone now. Unable to get the top prospect to chase there. Batting from the left side, stands very tall in that batter's box. Able to lay off again, and it's 2-2. The set by Lynn. And the pitch. Foul tip anyway, unable to be held on to. Still 2-2. Three-two here to Nolan Jones. The pitch by Lynn. Nice off-speed pitch, is able to get Jones a little bit out in front. First strikeout of the day for Lance Lynn. Good sign for him if he's able to get that strikeout going again. I mean, Danny Mendick is 28 years old, almost 29. He's not exactly a young guy. He's hitting .289. Maybe a little bit better average, no slugging. I don't know. For the defensive versatility that you get from Garcia, I think is why he's there instead of him. And I understand no fan wants to hear about defensive versatility, but it is what it is. Strike one there, and it evens the count at 1-1 to Clement. Clement hitting .211 on the year. Playing third base today for the Guardians. The set by Lynn. And the pitch. Popped foul behind home plate, and it's 1-2. The set by Lynn and the pitch. Off speed, this time fouled down the first base line. Count remains 1-2. If you're just joining us for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We do a lot of live streams of all kinds of different baseball games around Major League Baseball anyway. We don't just follow one team in particular. So if you'd like us to do one of your favorite teams, let us know which team you'd like us to do, and we will make an effort to do so. If you haven't followed us on Twitter yet, make sure you head over there and do that. Follow us at UpsideSN. Wave and a miss there. And Lance Lynn gets his second strikeout. Another scoreless frame for Lynn. It'll be Abreu followed by Jimenez and Grandal in the bottom half of the second. See if the White Sox can get something going here. Mets made another trade with the Pirates today. They got a catcher anyway, as they needed immediate catcher help anyway. Nothing that'll really move the needle, but fills a hole for them at the moment. Appreciate you guys joining us. As I've said, we follow other sports other than just baseball. We follow the MLB, of course, NBA, NFL, and the NHL. Last night, a big trade in hockey that sent Matthew Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers in exchange for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a 2025 first-round pick. That trade will have ramifications for years to come for both organizations, as I think Calgary did fantastic in the deal, getting a not necessarily a number one star level player, but maybe a 2 or a 3 on a team, if you're thinking in terms of a basketball team anyway. Having that third star or second star on the team. Huberdeau is a very productive player in the NHL, will fill in nicely in the lineup, plus they get some depth and a first. They were smart to push that first out until 2025 as well, so that way, just in case Florida does have some early success, as they performed very well last year. If they start to falter as the years go by, that draft pick will be a lot better as things go forward. In the NFL, Jimmy Garropolo has already been granted permission earlier this offseason to seek a trade. No team was really interested, as they were waiting for him to kind of get healthier and see what price they could end up getting. First pitch there outside to Abreu. Abreu hitting .307 on the year. 11 home runs, 47 RBIs, and an .863 OPS. The set and the pitch, well outside, and it's 2-0. Really stepped things up over the last couple of months. OPS of .970 in both June and July so far. That one just off the outside corner, but close enough to get the call, and it's 2-1. The pitch. Out in front is Abreu, fooled by that off-speed offering, and it's 2-2. Appreciate you guys joining us here. If you haven't hit that like or subscribe button already, please do so. Really helps us out a lot. Trying to reach 400 subs by the end of the month. Gained about 89, 90 of y'all. Actually, I think we're over 90 now over the past 12 hours anyway, since about 3-4 weeks now that we've gained that many. Trying to get over 400 by the end of the month. Let's see if we can do it. Jimenez on deck. Swing and a miss. Powers that one past him. That's the second strikeout of the day for Pilkington, and there is one away. Cleveland has always done a nice job of developing starting pitching. They do so again here with Pilkington so far. As I was saying, Garropolo was injured earlier in the offseason, had surgery on his shoulder. Now he's healthy, and teams are back re-engaging with Jimmy Garoppolo's camp, seeing how that shoulder's healing up, and expect to trade before training camp opens. First pitch here to Jimenez. Curveball bends in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Jimenez hitting .200 on the year, does have a couple home runs, 13 RBIs. Has missed some time this year, though. This one popped up and away, and it's 0-2. The set and the pitch, a little tapper out to short. Rosario flips on to first. And Jimenez is retired. 2 quick outs here for Pilkington. Grandal will be next, followed by Pollock should he reach. Grandal hitting 193 on the year, 2 home runs, 17 RBIs. Has also missed some time this year. Swing and a miss. Nice Hardy cut on that one, and it's 0-1. White Sox, one of many teams that have been hit with the injury bug so far this year. Another healthy swing at that one, unable to catch up to it, and it's quickly 0-2. I'd throw him another fastball as he wasn't able to catch up to the first 2. I don't care if you are up to 0-2. Go ahead and get this done with if you can't hit that. This one misses outside, and it's 1-2. The set by Pilkington, and the pitch popped up, shallow center, few steps in. Straw makes the catch, and we're through 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Guardians. No runs, no hits, no errors for the White Sox. A little bit of a pitcher's duel so far. It'll be Maley, followed by Straw and Kwan in the third for the Guardians. Appreciate you guys joining us. As I mentioned, we do follow other sports. We've touched a little bit on the NHL and the NFL. We also follow the NBA. NBA free agency is in full swing, of course. Full swing, of course, meaning there's not a whole lot of free agents out there, so it's a lot of trade talk right now. Kevin Durant is on the market. Donovan Mitchell is at least being discussed among other teams. We saw Rudy Gobert traded already. All the top free agents in the NBA are already off the board for the most part. Jalen Brunson, Zach LaVine were probably the 2 headliners. The one that's still out there right now has a legal situation. That's Miles Bridges. He has felony domestic violence issues to deal with out in Los Angeles. The Charlotte Hornets did not rescind the qualifying offer before the deadline of the 13th. That was the last court date anyway for Miles Bridges, so we'll see what ends up happening there. A little bit surprising they didn't pull the qualifying offer, but before the offseason started, he was expected to get a max extension anyway from the Charlotte Hornets. Now I don't think it'll cost nearly that much to get something done. Maybe he just plays under that qualifying offer now, but we'll see how it goes. DeAndre Ayton signed an offer sheet with the Indiana Pacers after a tumultuous ending, to say the least, with the Phoenix Suns last year, only to have that offer sheet matched by the Phoenix Suns. Got to imagine there's going to be some fences that need to be mended between Chris Paul, Monty Williams. Monty Williams was the coach of the year, but in that series against Dallas, looked like a scrub. Just saying. Chris Paul is just constantly abused defensively over and over and over, and they just wore him down to where he wasn't even effective on offense anymore. Of course, now that they've matched the offer sheet for DeAndre Ayton, that almost takes them out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, at least for the moment. Looks like we're back for the third. Lance Lynn out there. 31 pitches through 2 innings so far. Luke Maley digging in. 194 hitter, no homers, 6 RBIs, and a 573 OPS. The pitch by Lynn, a little bit high there. Looks like he struggled early on in counts to find the first pitch strikes so far tonight. But he's been effective, at least getting through the first 2 innings. See if he can get through 5 or 6 scoreless. Would be a great boost for this White Sox team. That one off the plate again, and it's 2-0. Pitch by Lynn. on the outer half of the plate at the knees for a strike there, and it's 2-1. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. Hit that subscribe and like button if this is your first time joining us. We do a whole bunch of live baseball for you guys, not just the White Sox or Guardians. We jump around to a bunch of different teams, so if you have a favorite team, let us know which one it is, and we'll try to do a live stream for you. Join the chat. Enjoy the game with some fellow White Sox or Guardians fans. Or maybe you talk a little bit of smack with the other team. That pitch misses upstairs anyway, and that's a leadoff walk anyway. Lance Lynn struggling with command a little bit today. Did strike out the last two hitters anyway in the bottom of the second. See if he can find that command again. It's starting to get a little gray in that beard now. Miles Straw, 213 hitter so far this year, no home runs, 14 RBIs, 571 OPS. Known more for his defensive abilities than his offense, but that speed is certainly a weapon. That one misses off the inside corner, but it is still called a strike. Straw looks back quizzically anyway at the home plate umpire, and it's 0-1. Miles Straw has not struck out in his last 48 plate appearances, according to Major League Baseball. That's the longest streak in all of baseball right now. Little tapper right to the right beside the mound. Moncada flips it on to first. Easily retired his Straw. One away here in the top of the third as it advances the runner to second. And it'll be Stephen Kwan due next. Overcast, cloudy day in Chicago. I think they said it was a 15-mile-an-hour wind in the Windy City today. This first pitch is fouled away. Kwan down 0-1. Maley out there at second. Little tapper out to short. Anderson goes to third and makes the play. Nails the catcher Maley, trying to advance to third. Ouch. A little bit of a risky play there by Anderson, but an even more risky play by Maley, not allowing that ball to go through first before you advance. But the rule of thumb is anyway, if it goes to your left, you go. If it goes to your right, you hold up. That ball, in all fairness, did go to his left, but it didn't miss his left by much. And Anderson was right behind him, so Anderson knew he had at least a little bit of time to get the ball over there. And that's the second out of the inning, cutting the runner down there at third. That'll go as a force out, or fielder's choice anyway. Kwan, a little bit speedier base stealer out there anyway, is on at first base. 2 outs now in the top of the third. First pitch to Rosario is a strike. Haven't seen too many first pitch strikes by Lance Lynn, but maybe, just maybe, as the innings get a little bit further into him, he starts finding that command again. The set by Lynn and the pitch upstairs, and that's ball one. Lynn looking in for the sign, gets it, and goes. That one misses just low, and it's 2-1. Looks like he's been inconsistent with that fastball command so far. At his peak, he was always able to whip that fastball wherever he needed it to go. Sat about 94, 95 in game. Looks like so far today he's hitting about 93, 94. Maybe a tick off his velocity on that fastball today. Three and one now to Rosario. If you're just joining us for the first time, don't be afraid. Say hello. Quan takes off on this one. This one's lifted out into right field. Vaughn settling underneath it, makes the catch, and that's the end of the inning. No runs, one hit, no errors for the Guardians. They left one there after that leadoff walk. And we go to the bottom of the third. White Sox, no runs, no hits, no errors. They will have Pollock, followed by Harrison and McGuire. See if they can find a little bit of success. A lot of names hitting the free agent market right now. While we wait for them to get out of commercial break, some of those names on the free agent or on the trade board anyway right now in baseball. You got Luis Castillo, probably the best arm available or known to be available anyway of the Cincinnati Reds. They're still not sure if they're going to end up trading him, but I believe prices will be so high for starting pitching because there literally isn't much starting pitching out there right now that we should see some movement on these bigger names to go anyway. Shohei Ohtani had his name finally come up in trade rumors. I was kind of surprised that it hadn't already. If you paid any attention to any of the lives that I've done, I've told you the Angels have been the worst team in baseball since about May 25th anyway. They just haven't been able to get anything going. Last night, just weren't able to get anything going offensively. Shohei Ohtani tried to get through 7 and just wasn't able to against the Atlanta Braves, and they got to him finally. But the Angels are just not a good baseball team. They've tried and tried different ways of building around Mike Trout. Then when they finally got Shohei Ohtani, they still tried to build around him, and they just haven't been able to find any winning combination. And so I believe Shohei Ohtani will eventually be traded at some point. If he isn't traded, that's complete mismanagement by a front office that just has not been able to get anything to go right in LA. I believe Mike Trout, anyway, is one of the most loyal players in all of baseball. One of the most loyal players in baseball that baseball has ever even seen. So I think even if you decide to go all the way into the tank, rebuild this roster, and maybe towards the end of Mike Trout's career, you have something of a representative roster at that point. But you would have already wasted Mike Trout's best years. But he's your face of your franchise. Probably will be for the rest of his life. And even though he hasn't had any playoff success at all, he's still that good of a player that he should be thought of as one of the best, if not the best player in Angels history. Pilkington out here in the bottom of the third. That one fouled off the foot of Pollock, and the count will go to 1-1. Really appreciate you guys joining us here on a Saturday evening. Just hitting the 7 o'clock hour here Central Time. Pollock serves that one out into right, and it gets down. Leadoff base hit for A.J. Pollock. First hit of the game for the White Sox. And it'll be Josh Harrison due next. Looking at the offensive production last year for the White Sox versus this year, a lot of down numbers anyway. They're about 8 games difference in the standings. The biggest difference I see, though, is their patience at the plate. Last year they had like 326 walks. This year, at this point of the season, they only have 221. They're down about 12 home runs as well. Runs are down about 60 runs a game. That's a lot of at-bats that you're getting free bases anyway with a walk. More chances to do damage. Maybe a more patient approach at the plate would do good. Would do wonders for the White Sox. Pilkington delivers. Harrison pops it up. Foul behind the third base dugout. And the count evens at 1-1. But as I was saying anyway, Shohei Ohtani was roughed up a little bit as he tried to get through 7 against the Braves. He wasn't able to do it. But the Angels just don't have much going for them. They're going to sell off a bunch of pieces. I expect them to eventually deal Shohei Ohtani even before the deadline, honestly, just because there is no reason for them to keep him. I mean, the only reason would be to possibly sell him in the winter, but what price is going to be higher than it is right now? Little tapper to third, a nice play there by Clement. And Pollock moves to second, one away here in the bottom of the third. But a guy like Shohei Ohtani really would move the needle for trade deadline coverage anyway, so make sure you join us on the 2nd as we'll cover the entire Major League Baseball trade deadline for you. We'll start our coverage around 10:30, and go through probably 4 or 5 o'clock until after all the trades have been announced. If you've watched Major League Baseball trade deadline in the past, even though the deadline will say 3 p.m., they'll still have trades be announced anyway about an hour afterward, and that's because the queue will be completely full. As long as you get that trade call started before 3 o'clock, your trade will be allowed to go through if everything is okay by the league. McGuire taps that one foul, and it's 0-1. McGuire hitting .228 on the year. But Shohei Ohtani, if you're in need of a pitcher, starting pitcher, which a lot of teams are right now, there's not a lot out there. If you're in need of a power bat, he would instantly become the best bat available as well. Nice fastball there right at the top of the zone, and it's 0-2. McGuire unable to catch up to that one. McGuire getting the start here against a lefty, a little bit rare in today's day and age for baseball. This one tapped foul, back behind the third base dugout, and we'll do it again. Base hit here, scores the first run of the game. The set by Pilkington, and the pitch. Well outside, and it's 1-2. The set and the pitch. Tapped foul again, and staying tough anyway is McGuire. 1-2 again. If you're a basketball fan, it looks like Trae Young is going to take part today in the Drew League along with John Collins. So much for those trade rumors coming out of Atlanta over the past 2-3 years that John Collins wants out. Looks like they might just be mending fences finally in Atlanta now that they have added another star player in DeJounte Murray. 2-2 now to McGuire as he works the count back even. One out here in the bottom of the third. No runs, one hit, no errors for both teams so far today. The set and the delivery. Tapped into left field. I'm not sure if this will get the runner home. They will hold Pollock at third base. Pollock had to hold up just in case that was stopped by Clement. But a nice piece of hitting there by McGuire, taking that ball where it was pitched and knocking it into left field. Runners at the corners, though. And it will be Tim Anderson up there with a chance to do some damage. Oh for 1 today so far, grounded out back in the first. So far on the year with runners in scoring position, he's hitting .250, who does have a home run with 17 RBIs. That one misses just upstairs, and I mean just upstairs. Swing and a miss. They say he foul-tipped it, but I don't know. That was a hearty swing there by Anderson, and it's 1-1. If you're just joining us, nothing so far the score. Guardians versus White Sox here in the bottom of the third. Runner on first and third. The pitch inside, and it's 2-1 now. Pilkington ready and delivers. A little bit above the zone, but Anderson taps it back to the screen. As the Fox broadcast reflects on that perfect game, by Mark Burley back in 2009. I actually remember that game. I got to watch at least the last few innings of that one. There was an unbelievable catch in that game, signified there on that outfield wall. Written on the outfield wall is the catch out there in left center. Three-two here to Tim Anderson. Pilkington really would not like to load the bases here with Moncada due up next. And he does. He walks him. Off-speed pitch never really broke the way he was hoping it. Just kind of kept on riding up and away. Bases loaded now. Francona looking on, starting to rock a little bit nervously in that dugout. A couple of veteran managers in this one. Tony La Russa for the White Sox. Terry Francona for the Guardians. And Moncada will dig in with one out here in the bottom of the third. Nowhere to put him. Bases are loaded. He does have one grand slam in 49 at-bats with the bases loaded. Is hitting .309 with the bases loaded in his career, as it forces that pitcher to come into the zone a little bit more, as to avoid walking in a run, which we saw in last night's game between the Mariners and Astros. Good fastball there right on the inside corner. Called a strike there, and it's 0-1. The set and the pitch. A little late on that one is Moncada, and it's 0-2. White Sox really need Moncada to come through here, at least to avoid the double play. Strikeout wouldn't be the worst thing in the world with Vaughn and Abreu due up next. The set by Pilkington and the pitch. Popped up behind home plate and now to play, and we'll do it again. Oh and 2 now. The set and the pitch. In the dirt, a nice block there up in the chin of Maile. That bounced so high up off the ground that Maile just barely got a piece of that with his chin. Tried to extend himself high enough to keep that ball in front of him. Almost caught him. It did catch him almost in the neck. right in here. 1-2 the count now. Two and two now the count to Yoan Moncada. Bases loaded here in the bottom of the third, one away. The pitch. That one up and away, and it will go full. We'll see if Pilkington's willing to risk it. Full count here, one away. Bases loaded. Moncada at the plate. The pitch popped up and out of play, and we'll do it all over again. White Sox crowd is on its feet right now. Andrew Vaughn due next. And the pitch. Upstairs, is he able to hold off on the swing? And he is. That'll be the first run of the game on a bases-loaded walk. What is it with pitchers and giving giving bases-loaded walks lately? Guardians pitching coach will come out and says a few words to the first base umpire on his way out there to talk to Pilkington. It did look like he might have gone at least halfway around, which is all it takes. Looking at the replay, if I'm the first base umpire, I probably agree with that call as well. I mean, he probably did break the plane of the plate anyway, but that doesn't really matter, as it was not called that way. But the White Sox are on the board, 1-0. Pilkington already up to 27 pitches here in the inning, up to 52 on the day. Andrew Vaughn up there with a chance to do some damage. His career with the bases loaded in 18 at-bats, hitting .389. Does not have a grand slam yet in his career. Nice curveball there, bends into the zone on the outer half of the plate, and it's 0-1. If you're just joining us, the first run of the game has just scored on a bases-loaded walk to Yoan Moncada. The set by Pilkington, and the pitch. Another off-speed pitch, this time misses well outside, and it's 1-1. The set by Pilkington, and the pitch well upstairs, 2-1. Got to imagine the Indians are going to get some that bullpen going here, if it isn't already. And they do. Castro is loosening. He's a righty out there in the pen. The set and the pitch. Upstairs again, but this time Vaughn fouls it back behind home plate, and it's 2-2. Vaughn looking to put a charge into a ball here. Base hit to the outfield, probably scores 2. Highest average this year with runners in scoring position. 1 and 2 are both in this game. Andres Jimenez at .384 is tops in the league. Followed there right by Andrew Vaughn. That one fouled towards the first base side. Remains 2-2. Good clutch hitting anyway for both of those players. We'll see if we get some of that clutch hitting here. The set and the pitch. Another one upstairs. Pops straight up. This will be an infield fly. Jimenez is there and makes the catch, but even if he had just let it drop all the way, that still would have been the second out of the inning. It'll be up to Jose Abreu to really do some damage here. Struck out back in the second, hitting .239 with runners in scoring position with 5 home runs and 37 RBIs this year. Pilkington up to 58 pitches now on the day. Over 30 pitches so far this inning now. The set and the pitch. Right down the middle, fastball right past Abreu there. And the pitch. Beneath the zone, but Abreu offers at it and swings and misses again, and it's quickly 0-2. If you're a White Sox fan, you really would like to see more than one run get across here with bases loaded and 1 out. Abreu with his career with the bases loaded, 75 at-bats, hitting .333, does have 4 grand slams. So far this year, he's 0 for 4, does have an RBI. That's another strikeout there for Abreu, a 3-pitch strikeout, just completely overmatched in that at-bat. Looks like he was trying to force the issue rather than take the pitch where it was coming from and move forward, but looks like he was just pressing a little bit. But at the end of 3, it's 1-0 White Sox. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Guardians. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the White Sox. Let us know where you're watching from. Appreciate you guys joining us. Got about 10 of y'all in right now. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you definitely hit that subscribe button. Really does help us out. We appreciate all of you who've joined us over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Gained about 90 of y'all since then. Trying to get over 400 by the end of the month. Let's see if we can make it happen. So if you haven't already hit it, please do so, please, and thank you. Lance Lynn will be coming out for his 4th inning of work. It'll be Jose Ramirez, who has the only hit of the day for the Guardians, followed by Josh Naylor and Andres Jimenez. Just waiting for them to get out of commercial break. Oh, not much anyway. There was a bases loaded with 1 out in the last half inning for the White Sox. They got a bases loaded walk that scored the first run of the game. And then Vaughn couldn't get the job done. Popped out to second base, infield fly rule. And then Abreu struck out on 3 pitches. Just looked completely overmatched and looked like he was trying to force the issue the whole at bat. Anderson, he was, I think he took a walk earlier. He's 0 for 1, but does have a walk. Lynn so far is pitching very well, even though he does have command issues today. Through 3 innings, only giving up the 1 run, or 1 hit anyway. They show Tony La Russa's championships. He's got 3 World Series, 89, 06, and 2011. Maybe. First pitch there to Ramirez is upstairs, and it's 1-0. They are calling it a double in the first inning, or back in the first for Jose Ramirez, even though I believe Eloy Jimenez should have had that one back in the infield and held him to a single. If not, thrown him out at second. Swing and a miss there, and it's 1-1. Lynn at 47 pitches through 3+ innings. White Sox trying to really climb back into that playoff picture. Got to think if they do get swept here by the Guardians anyway, that'll really put a damper on their playoff hopes to where they probably won't buy at the deadline, even though they really need starting pitching. Remember how I told you earlier tonight that starting pitching was going to be at a premium at the deadline? Well, if the White Sox really want a chance to win this year, they're going to have to pay through the nose to get starting pitching. There aren't that many good starters even on the market, and the ones that aren't, you're going to have to pay a pretty penny in order to convince their team to let them out. Mookie Betts just hit his 200th career home run, apparently. Congrats, Mookie. 1-2 here to Jose Ramirez. 1-for-1 on the day with that double in the first. 1-0 White Sox. The set by Lynn. And the pitch. Popped up behind home plate. Remains 1-2. That's the third strikeout there. Ramirez goes down on strikes. Nice piece of pitching there by Lynn. Blows that fastball right by Ramirez. Told you Lynn's a very good pitcher. Injuries kind of held him back in the first half. Naylor up next, hitting .278 on the year, 13 home runs, 51 RBIs. OPS of 840. Yeah, but now he's had the All-Star break, at least to kind of collect himself again after having to join the season midway through the first half anyway. He's only started 7 games so far this year, something like that. That one misses away, and it's 1-1. How many innings does he have left so far tonight? If I had to guess, he probably gets through 6. Hard hit ball right to first base. Abreu there and scoops it up. Walks over to first, and Naylor is retired. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. As they show the Jimenez highlight with the beautiful turn between these two teams. Jimenez kind of doing the behind-the-back flip to Anderson. Anderson, the shortstop for the White Sox. Jimenez, second base for the Guardians. Turned a nice double play, even though Tim Anderson kind of threw that ball a little bit up the first base line. Still was able to record the double play. The pitch by Lance Lynn misses outside, and it's 1-0. Again, that first pitch just has not been very accurate. Yeah, they should do well against Colorado, but it's Colorado. It's going to be an offensive game, and you're already having pitching issues, so we'll see how that goes. There's a strike right at the bottom of the zone, and it's 1-1. Off the end of the bat into left field. Jimenez is there to cut it off. Jimenez is going to try him again. Does Jimenez make a better throw? He does, but Anderson drops the ball. Yuck. Lance Lynn not being helped by his defense tonight. That's for sure. I think he took his eye off of it just as it got in there. Let's see the replay. Good piece of hitting, though, by Jimenez. Guardians trying to be very aggressive here tonight. I mean, he barely had just rounded first base by the time he decided to make that decision and run for second. Maybe there's something on the scouting report against Jimenez. Into the shift. First pitch swinging there is Jones. And he is indeed retired, so no harm done, though. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for the White Sox. Hope you guys are having a good dinner with your family, enjoying time this weekend with them, having fun getting out of the house maybe. Maybe. I mean, Hendricks did have the loss in the first game of the doubleheader, so I don't think you want to use him after you already used him in the first game. Like, ideally, you'd like to see Lynn get through 6, maybe 7. But asking for 7 on a guy that's had difficulties with health earlier in the year might be asking a little too much. I'd rather have Hendricks get back out there, but I still think it's not wise to bring him out again after having a rough outing in the first game of the doubleheader. So for this game only, I'd rather have Graveman. Just got to remember, as a fan, don't be too fickle. Just because they have one bad performance or they hit one grand slam, don't get too high, too low. Of course, the term fan is short for fanatic, so tough to do, I realize. Yeah, I'm a regular Dr. Phil. Slept at a Holiday Inn Express. Okay, maybe not. Spaghetti. Well, I told you I had to sprint home for work, so I basically ran by a Taco Bell and just grabbed some crispy tacos, which, by the way, are very underrated. They have the crispy tortilla shells crumbled around the outside, gives a little bit extra Mexican flavor. Little tapper there by Jimenez, trying to make up for the defensive issues he's had tonight, and it's 1-1. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't like how they keep changing their menu. I wish they'd just figure out what will make them better and not. Ever since the pandemic started, anyway, all restaurants have finally gotten better at all different aspects of being a good restaurant owner. Removing items that not everybody's purchasing, getting more streamlined options on their menu, cutting down on the 5-page menus, going down to 1, 2, or 3 pages. And while that's great for them and does make their quality and consistency much better, it does nothing for me. That one bleeds through into center. Nice piece of hitting by Jimenez. First hit of the night for him. Looks like he was very unhappy with that one. Looked like it was off the end of the bat. Did he? Three for 4. Yeah, I'd say he did pretty good. Takes the first pitch here, flies out to right though. Jones makes the catch. Yeah, he went 3 for 4. He had 3 hits in the game. It'll be A.J. Pollock, who did get a base hit his last time up. Yeah, he struggled with command a little bit at times anyway. Looks like he's starting to wear down, honestly, after that 36-pitch inning last time. Pollock hitting .230, 4 homers, 26 RBIs, and a .603 OPS. Twitter is at UpsideSN. We'll tap her out to short, and that's going to be an easy double play there. Ends the threat, and we go to the 5th. Pilkington does a nice pitching there. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the White Sox. Appreciate you. I literally just got the notification. Thank you. Well, you got a lot of mashers in your lineup. Vaughn, Abreu, Grandal, Jimenez, even Moncada to a certain extent are all more of power hitters than anything else. And then you've got Pollock, who doesn't move as well at his age. Harrison isn't exactly the most fleet of foot at his age. And then you got a catcher in McGuire out there. Your lineup will be susceptible to a lot of double plays. Another power hitter in Sheets. So maybe that's something you consider going forward when you're trying to build this team. You do need a right fielder at some point. Robert could be the guy, but I think he's more your center fielder every day. Pollock, when Robert is healthy, is probably your right fielder. But Pollock is a really good average hitter, just having a down year this year. So maybe move Pollock into the DH spot. Or maybe you have him as a bench piece for you. Somebody who gets on base, somebody who's makes a lot of contact, is able to get out of the double play, might be nice. Bring a different element. You only have one Tim Anderson on your team. You don't really have much else that brings that element to that team. And he so far has been your best player this year. Something to consider. Lynn back out here for the 5th. It'll be Clement, followed by Maley and Straw. Nice pitch there by Lynn as he's able to get ahead 0-1. Hasn't been able to do that often. Clement did strike out back in the 2nd, hitting .209, no homers, 5 RBIs, and 502 OPS. The set by Lynn. Popped foul, and it's quickly 0-2. Beginning to wonder if this is going to be a little bit of a pitcher's duel. Both pitchers are performing very well. Pilkington had that 1 rough inning, and that's why we have a 1-0 score right now. The pitch, swing and a miss. Nice fastball right at the top of the zone. Goes right after him. Looks like he knows something about Clement. Can't hit that fastball or something. 4th strikeout of the day. The blue uniforms for the Dodgers. I'm never too high, too low on a uniform. I mean, it's a uniform. I mean, there are some out there that are absolutely awful. The rest of them are anywhere between marginally good to fantastic. So, first pitch there off the outside corner, ball one. Mahle worked a walk in his last at bat. Maybe you take advantage of that patience and throw some early strikes in this count as the sun begins to go down in Chicago. Good fastball there on the outside corner at the knees, and it's 1-1. Mahle hitting 194 on the year, no homers, does have 6 RBIs. The pitch by Lynn. Down low. Mahle willing to take the walk if you're going to give it to him, so maybe you just pound the zone with strikes. So 2-1. Nice fastball there on the outside corner. Swing and a miss by Mahle. That's 2-2. Another strikeout there by Lynn. That's his 5th strikeout. Really getting that strikeout pitch working now. Mahle was late on that one. I don't think it'll be the 6th. Lynn is rolling, and he's only at 66 pitches. La Russa's a little old school when it comes to pitchers, and he's had Lynn before. I wonder if part of the reason for Lynn's struggles since he's been with the White Sox is being underneath Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa never really handled him to the level that the Rangers did. Of course, he wasn't necessarily the pitcher that he was at the time with the Cardinals, that he became with the Rangers. Lance Lynn, in his time with the Rangers, was an ace pretty much from the outset of his time there. That's what the White Sox were hoping they were getting when they signed him to that extension. 1-1 there as a strike finds the zone and right at the bottom at the knees, right down the middle. Straw 0 for 1 today, grounded out in the 3rd. He's .213 average, no homers, 14 RBIs, and a .570 OPS. Yeah, I think you're in trouble tomorrow with Bieber going. I understand Cease is going for you, but I don't know. The set by Lynn, and a wow, nice piece of pitching by Lynn. Blows that one by Straw and strikes out the side. Maybe he's starting to feel like himself again. That's got to feel good for Lance Lynn. He is a strikeout pitcher when he's on. He is pumped. Now understand that the Guardians lineup is not exactly world beaters. But Lance Lynn getting back to his old self. White Sox fans should be fired up. Okay, Zach. Last night you were saying Lance Lynn, garbage, blah, blah, blah. Tonight you're saying he's back. We've seen him pitch 5 innings. Just saying, you might want to find somewhere in the middle. Because I don't think he's absolute garbage, and I don't think he's a guy that shuts every inning down. I think he's somewhere in between nowadays. Yeah. You just got to remember to take it one day at a time. Not too high, not too low. Yep. You want to look at everybody looks at the back of the baseball card numbers anyway. how many games did they start, how many games did they or innings did they pitch, what their ERA was, how many strikeouts they had, how many walks they gave up. And that's all well and good, but you can also tell a lot about trends during a season. And you saw with Lance Lynn being injured, that's going to affect him coming back. Of course, with the COVID thing a couple of years ago, everybody had injury issues over the last couple of years. Not saying it was COVID related, but I'm saying that everybody's had some type of injury status. So more looking at the calendar month to month might be a little bit more useful when you're trying to see whether or not the pitcher's going down the tubes or whether or not he's starting to regress in his career. I do believe Lance Lynn has regressed a little bit since his time with Texas. I don't think that's a question. But do I still think he's a very good pitcher, possibly a number 2 starter? Absolutely. And with the extra time after the All-Star break, gave him more time to get back into the swing of things with baseball, reset. And it's not like he was absolutely horrible. I mean, he had a 7.5 ERA over 7 games. There are a lot of pitchers out there who would be happy to have that in Major League Baseball right now. First pitch is a ball there to Harrison. Second one on the outside corner. Late is the swing of Harrison, and it's 1-1. Just so you guys can kind of know, Lance Lynn before the game was at a 7.5 ERA. He's already dropped it almost a full run down to 6.59. It's still Pilkington out there. It's the same pitcher. Fly it out there to right, and there is one away. Reese McGuire back in there, 1 for 1 on the day, a single in the third, 233 hitter. Offensively, maybe, but I just don't like that Harrison's only stuck with like 2 infield positions that he can play. Garcia, you can play him at short, second, third, left, right. I think in an emergency, you could play him in center. Nice ground ball up the middle there by Garcia, and almost beats it out. Hustling down the line, but Rosario is able to make the flip. There are 2 away. Tim Anderson due up next. That was very close. I want to see the replay if it was closer than I thought. Okay, we've seen the slide by Rosario like 6 times. Let's see the play at first. Yeah, he was beat by about a third of a step. Good play there. Yeah, you do. The Guardians in their late inning heroics. That and the bullpen of the White Sox just coughed it up in the last game. Pilkington, he's probably not going to come out until after this inning, if he does at all. Right now, he's only at 76 pitches, has had 1 really taxing inning, but he's really recovered since then. 2-0 now to Anderson. Make it 3-0. If he gets into the mid-80s, he probably gets pulled after 5. If he gets Anderson here, maybe he comes back out for the 6th. The pitch. Right on the outside corner, it's 3-1. The 3-1. Anderson taking all the way, and it's 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4. Anderson takes another walk. 2-out walk here by Pilkington. Yeah, Moncada hit would be nice, but I think long-term you might have to address the Moncada situation. He's never really lived up to the hype yet. Every game I've ever watched in his career has always been a somewhat disappointing tale. Maybe he'll change my mind here. That one well outside. This will probably be the last inning now for Pilkington. Losing Anderson and now falling behind Moncada here. Moncada's walk back in the third, pushed across the first run of the game. Swing and a miss. Moncada unable to make contact with that 90-mile-an-hour heater on the outside corner. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you haven't hit that like button already, please do so. Hit that subscribe button while you're at it. Anderson takes his lead off of first. Down low again. It's 2-1. If Moncada reaches, you got to think they're going to have a mound visit here, if not even pull Pilkington, as he's starting to miss the zone a lot more. The set and the pitch. This one hit hard into right center field, going out. That one gets down into the gap. Straw quickly flips it around, but Anderson's all the way around third already. He scores easily. Nice slide in there. The throw actually looked a lot closer than I thought it was going to be originally. That was the first good thing I've seen Moncada do in any game I've seen him play in. Wow. I've probably seen 25 games of his career. This is the first big hit I've seen him get. Missed a home run there by about 12 feet. But Anderson had some serious wheels. Took a little bit wide turn around third, made it closer than it needed to be. White Sox now with a 2-0 advantage. Pilkington giving up the second run of the game. It will be Andrew Vaughn next. First pitch swinging, lines this one down the third base line, foul. Moncada already 3/4 of the way to third on that one. I think this is your chance if you're the White Sox. Get to Pilkington here, scratch across another run, and then you'll be in good shape. That one was right on the corner there, and it's 0-2. Vaughn has popped out twice so far. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting .367 with 2 home runs. The pitch, well outside, and it's 1-2. Pilkington up to 18 pitches this inning, 87 on the day. That one's low, and it's 2-2. The set by Pilkington, and the pitch. Up above the zone. Vaughn does get underneath it, though. Flies it to the right center field gap. Straw is there on the edge of the warning track. Holds the ball up there for White Sox fans to cheer. Or not. But that's the end of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the White Sox. All right, I don't know about that Vaughn one. That was chased above the zone by a good 3 inches off the end of the bat. He got a lot of power into it, but that should never have gotten out. The Moncada hit was a very well-struck ball, but that one also was not getting out. I push back on that just a little bit, though. Good progress, though, for the White Sox. Scratching across another run for Lance Lynn. Padres, I will be doing the Sunday night baseball game, I believe. My folks want me to come over for pot roast around 5. The game, I think, starts at 6, so it'll be close if I'm going to be able to make it for the start of the game. So we'll see. But, yes, I'll do the Padres and Mets on Sunday night baseball. I'll be doing the first game of the day on Peacock as well. Can't remember what game that one was. I'll have to look. I always do the Sunday game, the first game of the day. That game is Cubs and Phillies. Drew Smiley versus Falter for the Phillies. Yeah, I'll probably go over there early anyway, just spend some time with them. Grandma will be over there, I'm sure. She's a big Twins fan, so every time I come over, she wants to talk about the Twins. Back here for the top of the 6th, Lance Lynn struck out the side in the 5th. See if he can continue that dominance here. Up to 70 pitches so far. If he has an efficient inning here, he might come back out for the 7th. First pitch to Quan upstairs, and it's 1-0. That one also upstairs, and it's 2-0. Lynn struggling to find the release point on those 2 pitches. Lynn's pitched a good game so far. Right on the outside corner, maybe a hair off the plate, but gets the call, and it's 2-1. Yes, he does. We've done a couple of the Guardians games, and Quan has certainly got one of the better eyes of a young guy. A lot of the younger players are coming up with better eyes, though, at the plate. Noticed that a little bit this season. A lot of talent out there, not just for mashing the ball anymore, but also for utilizing that strike zone. Thank you for joining us, Alan. Appreciate you. This one pounded into the dirt. Nice play there by Moncada. And that's the first out of the inning. Just picked up an icy. I can't really do ices. It's just got too much sugar for me. I'd appreciate you anyway. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Trying to reach 400 by the end of the month, so if you can help us out by subscribing, we'd really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN. I just can't do ice. He's got too much sugar in him. Basically send me into sugar coma. First pitch swinging, a bouncer by Rosario. Nice play there by Anderson. He's made some good throws over there to first. 2 away here. I can do pretty much salt all day long. I can do pretty much anything else, but sugar, too much sugar, and it puts me in a kind of a coma-like state for a while. Like I can't move. Heat affects me more. Just moving my eyelids hurts after a while. I can't do too much sugar. I can do pretty much anything else all day long. Give me cake all day long just without the frosting, and I can eat that all day. Give me ribs, a burger, a steak. I can do anything like that all day long. Give me even ice cream. Couldn't do it. Too much sugar. I could have a bite or two, and that's about it. 1-1 here to Ramirez. 1 for 2. Had a double earlier in the game in the first inning. Yep. Yeah, I'm still getting used to it, too. I think I've already said Indians like twice in this game so far. Nice pitch there, right on the corner. Paint by Lance Lim. Up to 79 pitches. If he gets the out on this pitch, I think he comes back out for the 7th, honestly. Although LaRusse would probably have a quick hook for him should he get into any trouble. I think even if he gives up a walk in the next inning, should he get Ramirez here, he probably gets lifted. Good pitch there. Ramirez just gets a piece of it, fouls it back to the screen. Remains 1-2. I'm going to guess you're a Cleveland fan, Alan? Are you from Cleveland or are you watching from somewhere else? The 1-2 by Lynn. The set and the pitch in the dirt. Ramirez able to hold off. From Columbus, Ohio. Cool. Okay, I got to ask since you're in Columbus anyway. Johnny Gaudreau, you a hockey fan at all? Two now to Ramirez as he digs back in. The set and the pitch. Right off the inside corner, fouled off down the first base line. I'd be excited too. I mean, you get Johnny Hockey. I'm not sure how long that or how good that contract's going to look if he gets hit, pretty good and gets tattooed because he is a more diminutive player, but he is very skilled. Got over 100 points last year. Kind of reminds me of Artemi Panarin for them. Another foul ball here by Ramirez. If he keeps working this count, I don't think Lynn's going to come back out. And then didn't they just extend Line A as well? 4-year deal? How do you think Watson's going to do for the Browns? Well, I'm not sure if you're asking Alan or me, but for me, I think Watson, once he's actually on the roster, will be fantastic. Oh, off the glove of Harrison and into right. Ramirez takes a wide turnaround first. That's part of the reason why I like Leury Garcia more. I get it. It's off the edge of the glove, but he still should have had it. Yuck. Lance Lynn has not been helped out by his defense for a 3rd time in the game. Yeah, he was. What do you think of the contract, though, for 4 years? Yeah, but I think he's in a better position and gets a better break on the ball. First pitch there, right on the outside corner. Paint there, and it's 0-1. Yeah, I do think it was a very late decision. I think it was surprising even to Columbus that they were the team that he chose. I think they knew they were in it, but I don't think that they thought they would have a real foot in the door in the beginning, and they just kept on coming, it sounds like. Yeah, Naylor homer would tie it here, but I don't know. I don't see him getting a hold of one here. Lynn's avoiding all the power zones anyway for Naylor so far. 1-1. That one finds the middle of the plate, though. Lofted out into short left. Jimenez coming on and makes the catch. And that's the third out of the inning. I think that's probably it for Lynn. A great start for Lance Lynn, a 3-hit shutout through 6. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Abreu followed by Jimenez and Grandal. Pilkington, I believe, is probably done as well. Both pitchers have acquitted themselves very well in this game. Yeah, I was kind of surprised by the years that they gave him, though. Line's always had his issues with production or injury, even though he is a young player. I thought maybe a 2-year deal might be a little bit better, but maybe they had to go 4 in order to get it done. But as far as the Watson-Chubb connection, that should be filthy. Think of the Houston Texans and how poor of a running game they had. They had Lamar Miller. They plucked him off the scrap heap for a few years from the Miami Dolphins. He was their lead back for a couple of years. Then they traded D-Hop for David Johnson in a pick. Watson's got to be thinking, is this Christmas? Plus, of course, all of the off-the-field things going on with Watson. You want Ruiz in there for the Sox next inning? Yeah. But I do like the two-headed monster that the Browns have had at the running back position ever since Kareem Hunt was brought in. No better backfield in the NFL. Possibly even in the last 10 years. That's how good they are together. I don't know about Peoples-Jones, but I believe Cooper will be fantastic for him. I wonder how long they're going to keep him, though, because they only sacrificed a low-round pick. They're going to have salary issues after next year, or after this year. O-line is good for at least this year, but you wonder how much longer they're going to be able to keep all those pieces there. Did they bring back Jadeveon Clowney, or did he go elsewhere? I can't remember. Or is he still out there? Let me see. Clowney came back? Okay. He's one of those players that was drafted well above where his talent at the time would have been if he didn't have that one huge hit at South Carolina. I don't think he is taken number 1. Ball 1 there to Abreu. 2 strikeouts in the game. Castro is on for the Guardians. Thoughts on the Dolphins? I think it's all on Tua. They've literally souped up that offense as good as it's going to get. And he better perform. I think if he's not leading this team to a 6-2 record 8 games in, I think there's going to be serious rumblings about his future as the quarterback. Ruiz is the guy indeed loosening for the Sox anyway. This one lifted out behind first base in foul territory. Oh, Jimenez almost got there, but it'll be 2-1. Yeah, he's a better run defender nowadays because he wasn't able to reach the passer after he had an injury, 2 years ago? And he wasn't able to rush with the same authority, so he had to set the edge a little bit more. But I think even if they're 4-4 after 8 games, there's rumblings about Tua being gone. I think if they're 5-3, I think there's rumblings about Tua being gone. If they're 6-2, I think is the threshold for Tua to feel safe. And I think he's going to hear those rumblings until he's 6-2. Now, if he falters down the stretch after going 6-2, I think those rumblings begin again. I don't think he's really earned the ability to be considered a lock as a starter of the Dolphins going forward. Slow roller in the hole. Rosario flips on to first. Beautiful play there. Nice dig out of the dirt by Naylor there. Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys just joined us anyway, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Really means a lot to us. Gained about 92, I think, of y'all in the last 3 weeks. See if we can get over 400 by the end of the month. Getting close anyway. That was a really close play, though, on replay. I don't even think if he has the stats, he's going to get any love. I think they're going to say, hey, you should have the stats. What's wrong with you? Big hit here by Jimenez. Out to left center. Beautiful swing. And it's 3-0 Chicago. Wow. That fan is pumped to have caught that ball. That was right in the wheelhouse for Eloy Jimenez. Maybe this will get him jump-started for the second half of the season. They're really going to need that power in that lineup if they're going to do anything this season and see if they can make it to the postseason. He and Robert, as far as they go, and the pitching staff are as far as the White Sox go this year. I don't know if he's back all the way. We saw his defense earlier in the game. We saw his, we'll call it a ho-hum at bat earlier. But he is 2 for 3 on the day. That one, I think he just absolutely crushed the natural swing path of that one. I think that was just a mistake by Castro more than it was success by Jimenez, but I want to see more. He's at a 219 average, raised his average by about 20 points in the game so far today. I want to see more of that before I believe Jimenez is back. But as far as Tua, though, I mean, even if he's got the stats, even at 4-4, even if he's, 3-5 and has got the best quarterback stats in the entire NFL, I don't think it's going to be Tua that's going to be safe. I think Tua is going to be the one guy they're going to be going, hey, you have all these weapons. You should be performing this well. So what else aren't you doing? What leadership abilities don't you have? Hard hit ball by Grandal into the stands. 1-2 now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Oh, no. Eloy. White Sox lineup is so much better with Eloy. Yeah, it is. They need him in there. This one slapped into left field, beats the shift. Grandal is on again. Grandal is another player that's got to pick it up offensively for the White Sox. And a lot of poor performances in the first half from a number of pitchers and hitters. If they're going to do anything this season, they need that to be fixed. And I think they can expect at least some positive regression back to the mean. A.J. Pollock due next. Castro to 9 pitches so far this inning. 1 out. They are young, but I will say the Guardians pitching staff significantly better than the White Sox. White Sox may have, a better bullpen piece here and there, but I think the starters and everything, once you consider all those pieces, the Guardians have the better rotation. And I love Clase at the back end of the rotation, not just because he came from the Rangers organization, but just the lights out stuff he has. I think he's the next big closer in the MLB. I don't know. If I had to choose between Hendricks and Clase for this year, might be tied. If I had to choose for next year, Clase all the way. Right down the middle. Castro getting lucky there. And it's 1-2 to Pollock as he slaps it foul. I mean, Hendricks is a very good pitcher, but we just saw he can be hit around. There's a reason why he blossomed late. Graveman, I don't consider a closer. Graveman, to me, is a good 8th inning, 7th inning guy. On a team that's built with a stacked bullpen, I think he's an 8th or 7th inning guy. On a team that's below 500, maybe Graveman's a closer. Yeah. He reminds me a little bit of Mariano with that one pitch that dominant of a pitch. And I think he's got one or two other offerings that are plus pitches as well. Ground ball here to third, on to second, to first, and they get the double play there. But Eloy Jimenez makes it a 3-0 lead for the White Sox. Hendricks a top 5 closer in the league? No. Joe Kelly and Ruiz, 7th, 8th inning guys. Okay, but I mean, they're good, but it's 7th, 8th inning guys. We're talking about Joe Kelly, who was picked off of the scrap heap from the Dodgers, mainly because of money concerns. But I don't think Hendricks is a top 5 closer. Class A? I don't know if I'd put Class A even in that top 5. There's a lot of good closers out there right now. Yeah, but yes, you have more veteran starting pitchers, but the Guardians have never had veteran starting pitchers. Their veteran is Shane Bieber, and eventually they're going to trade him. It's just the way the Guardians have always done it. They count on their youth. They count on their able to balance a budget. They count on their ability to work with a very thin margin and still post up a very good team. I mean, Cueto was picked off the scrap heap as well. I think I might have told you in the last live, I don't believe in the Royals. I mean, I think you said last night they were 2 years away from being a contender. I think they're 2 years away from being 2 years away. I mean, they have a couple of good position players, but like the Guardians, they have to have everything go right for them in order for them to have any extended period of success. They have a couple of good players in Bobby Witt and Mondesi, and Olivares has started to play well. They've gotten some good young hitters to come through over the past few weeks, but they have had almost no good pitching, none, for like 3 years. It's been awful. They have the veteran and Salvador Perez still there. I think Bubic, we did the game against the Blue Jays north of the border anyway, when Bubic had his best start of the year. He was fantastic. Prado had a home run in that game. He just got called up from the minors. Massey had just got called up for that series anyway. He played well in that series. They got a good group of young players, but I don't think they make major league regular players on another team, if that makes sense. I think they've got at least a year or two for those pieces to develop, and then they have to get some more youth alongside of it, along with that rotation to fill out. So that's why I think they're 2 years away from being 2 years away. Yeah. I mean, the Indians at one time, I think, had 9 starting pitchers that all would have been starters on any team. Tigers, I think they're even further away. Main reason, I think they're closer right now, but I don't like their the way their trajectory is right now. Riley Green's going to be fantastic. I think that the Javier Baez deal was a complete misstep for the Detroit Tigers organization. The Eduardo Rodriguez deal, fantastic. But that contract to Javi Baez in that market, I understand they're willing to spend money, but that's a lot of money to spend on a player who's struggling, to say the least. Off the end of the bat, poked out into short center, fielded behind second base, and put in his pocket by Anderson. Leadoff base hit for Jimenez. It'll be Nolan Jones next. Great piece of hitting there. Just making enough contact to be able to put it in play. But I don't believe in the Tigers. I think the Royals will be better than the Tigers will in 4 years, that's for sure. I think Riley Green is a possible MVP candidate if he can stay healthy. but he's going to need at least 2, maybe 3 years before he reaches that level of potential. The set by Ruiz and the pitch. Fouled away, and it's 1-1. If you're just joining us, it's been all White Sox so far. 3-0. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Guardians. Ronaldo Lopez is loosening for the White Sox should this inning get troublesome. For the White Sox, 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Eloy Jimenez hitting a solo shot in the 6th to get us to where we are now. This one pops up over McGuire's head as he tried to backhand that one, and the runner advances to second. I think they might want to have Kelly come in a clean inning. I didn't watch the first game. Maybe they used him. Let me check the box score again. They used Cueto, Graveman, and Hendricks. Maybe they're saving Kelly for the 9th anyway, if they don't want to use Hendricks or Graveman again. That might make sense. Of course, Graveman only threw 11 pitches, so he might have a few bullets left in that arm. Good pitch there by Ruiz, 3-2. Nolan Jones 0 for 2 on the day, has a .314 average at the moment, 1 home run. Clement will be next. No outs here in the top of the 7th. Guardians trying to get on the board. That's a beautiful pitch, fastball right on the outside corner. Ruiz getting the job done there. Nolan Jones seems like he's guessing up the plate today. So you said Columbus, Ohio is where you're from, Alan? Do you follow all the Ohio teams? The Cavs, the Reds, etc.? Good pitch there by Ruiz. 97 miles an hour at the top of the zone. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. Jimenez gets a nice lead off a second. This one hit right back through the box into center. Fielded by Pollock, just hitting the bases. Jimenez on to home, but that throw was very weak and did not get there. Was cut off before the mound. And the Guardians are on the board, 3-1. Good speed on the base paths. Comes around to score on that solid base hit there by Ernie Clement. I don't think you pull Ruiz yet. I think you give him one more batter. Guardians getting something going now. Tying run coming to the plate in Luke Maley. Looks like they might actually be pulling Ruiz, though. Franmil Reyes has been announced as a pinch hitter. A lot of power in that bat. Nope, they're just going to have a mound visit here. Cat's coming out to talk to him. I think if he does give up a base hit to Reyes, though, we do see them pull Ruiz. They might have all the runs they need. They just need to be able to lock this game down. They spent all that. They invested so much in that bullpen. They just got to come in and do their job. That's why you have a good bullpen, so you can lock these type of games down. First pitch, right down Broadway, 98 miles an hour. Reached back for a little extra on that one, and it's 0-1. Misses with that one, and it's 1-1. Thoughts on Matt Foster? A middling bullpen arm, I guess. He's 27, so I don't really see a lot of future for him. He's not a difference maker anyway for me on this roster. I mean, he's a dime a dozen pitcher in my opinion. 2 away now is that after that pop out to second. Miles Straw will be next. Good work there by Ruiz, handling Reyes. Miles Straw 0 for 2, ground out and a strikeout. Not really known for the bat, but he has had a few go-ahead hits over the year. Had one against my Rangers earlier this year. Former prospect for the Houston Astros. Really taking over that center field job in Cleveland. The pitch by Ruiz. At the top of the zone, just above the zone, says home plate umpire. And it's 1-1. If you're just joining us, White Sox got out to a 3-0 lead. They were the Guardians were able to scratch across a run so far here in the top of the 7th, as Ruiz bends in a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone, and it's 1-2. Yeah, they played the A's tonight. I haven't checked on the score yet. Anyway, not sure if they're underway yet or not. They're supposed to play 8:07. Yeah, they just got started about 20 minutes ago. That one misses well outside, and it's 2-2. I don't think they come back and make the playoffs. I think they're going to – I mean, if they go on a win streak here before the deadline and win like a whole bunch of games in a row, this one poked down the right field line, drops in there for a base hit, goes into the corner. Vaughn has trouble getting it out of the corner, and that's going to allow another run to score. More defensive issues today for the White Sox. Somebody better grab this outfield by the collar and say, get a grip. That goes down as a triple after Vaughn struggled out there in right. Of course, Vaughn is not a right fielder by trade, more of a first baseman. But now the tying run is on third base in the form of Miles Straw. And we'll see the top of the order come back around with Stephen Kwan. That should do it for Ruiz, though. 2 runs in, 2 outs so far here. Yep, and now Tony La Russa is coming out. Not going to let it get any further here. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the White Sox so far today. Yeah, he didn't give you much today. Although I think with better defense, Oh, it's going to be Lopez. That's who was loosening out there. But But as for the Rangers, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. But if they go on a crazy run and win like, I don't know, 10 straight before the deadline, and they're right up against the wild card position, I don't think they sell pieces. I think they might go out and add a long-term starter out there. Maybe somebody like a Tyler Mahle. Maybe they go after a guy that has a lot of control left. Maybe they go after Shohei Ohtani and go after the bat. Although that would be very rare for a trade in the division, at least with the Angels, at least. We saw them kind of give up on Josh Hamilton and were able to eat all of that contract and allowed the Rangers to go ahead and get him. We saw how badly that works. So there's a little bit of bad blood between the two organizations over the years. Most of that has since passed by the wayside, though. But for the Rangers, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to rattle off 10 straight. I don't think they should be in on the Shohei Ohtani sweepstakes just for those reasons, just because I think the cost to acquire him will be so prohibitive. But I think they reinvested in their pitching prospect pool. They drafted, I think, out of the 20-round draft anyway, they had 18 draft picks. Of those 18 picks, 16 or 13 of them were pitchers. So they should be able to trade away some of their top pitching prospects to be able to get a long-term starter in there. Lopez is very good. He has been all year, especially since they moved him to more of a bullpen, long relief role in the beginning. Well, yeah, but you got to manage a doubleheader. No, I'm not going to stream that one. I'll stream the Cubs game tomorrow against the Phillies. I want to enjoy the Field of Dreams game with my dad. To say that last year's Field of Dreams game was special would be a massive understatement. If you did not get to watch it, even if you missed the pregame, if you missed any of the hour, 2-hour pregame before the Field of Dreams games, or before the Field of Dreams game last year, yeah. There's that horrible defense by Vaughn. Yuck. The Anderson walk-off was crazy. The good matchup really helped make that first game a success. Hopefully a bad matchup this time. We'll still have a good game out of it and allow the game to really play up with that environment that they're going to be in, and they don't let it fizzle out after a couple of years. I would have put somebody else in the game. Last year it was division leaders. This year it's the seller of the NL Central. Maybe I would have done like the Twins who are leading the AL Central versus the Cubs, the national brand, something like that. But the Reds are not necessarily a national brand anymore. They aren't very good. The Cubs should draw a nice crowd to the game at least. But I'm all for expanding these special event type games for baseball. A game at the Doubleday Field in Cooperstown would be fantastic. It is Lopez on, pitching to Kwan. He's gotten ahead now 1-2, a fastball right in there at the knees. 2 away here in the 7th as the Guardians try to scratch across the game-tying run. Only 90 feet away. Lopez set. Kwan 0 for 3. That pitch just off the inside corner, says the home plate umpire. They aren't calling that low strike this year, but that one's been called a strike before this game. Maybe it was the finish of that pitch that didn't really sell the strike, I suppose. But let me hear you say it. We want robo-umps. When do we want them? Now. Oh. The set by Lopez and the pitch. Fastball to the top of the zone. This one gets down, and we have a tie ball game. Nice piece of hitting by Kwan. And Lopez gives it up there. And I know if you're a White Sox fan, you really wanted that strike, but not all of them are going to go your way. I know if you're a Guardian fan, sometimes you get the call. Maybe it'll go the other way in the next half inning. It is a 9-inning game. Most of those calls usually even out. Rosario up there now. I agree with you. If they call the game like they should, it's a strike. But the baseball sent out the directive they don't want that low strike called. That was at the very bottom of the zone. Should have been a strike via pitch tracks. But baseball basically said we don't want that pitch called a strike. So you can understand the reasoning why. Swing and a miss there by Rosario. 1-1's the count. Let's see if Quan does try to go to second here. See if he can get in scoring position with 2 outs. Yeah, teams like the Phillies, the White Sox have players in defensive positions they really should not be in. Eloy Jimenez, he's kind of a lumbering giant out there in left. You've got Pollock, an aging guy, in center. Even when Quan does take off for second there, this one's lifted down the right field line. Foul and out of play, and it's 1-2. And then in right, you have Andrew Vaughn, who's a first baseman by trade that they tried to flip out there to the outfield to get him more playing time. Maybe they would have been smarter and moved around some of those assets and got better defenders that can still have a little bit of pop. But when you have a couple of first basemen on the team already, you have to find somewhere to play them. Quick toss over to first, and Quan is back safely. Hey, I've been a fan of robo-umps for a long time now. The technology, I think, is there. I think it's a lot of hand-wringing, trying to get people comfortable with it more than anything else. Everybody says the technology was a couple years away from being a couple years away. That was 5 years ago. Well, that couple years has since passed. The technology got a lot better. That one's served out into right center, and this one's going to go all the way to the wall. Quan's going to score easily. Wow. Not a fast defender among the bunch out there. And now it's a 4-3 game. Another triple. Rosario gets all the way to third. I'm sorry, Zach. Don't give up on him yet. Lynn gave you 6 good innings, and the bullpen came in and wet the bed. That's yet another reason why the White Sox are where they are this year. They get a good start from a starter who's had a rough start to the year, and they immediately give it away the first chance they can. That's the 6th triple for Ahmed Rosario on the year. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Again, with faster outfielders out there instead of a lumbering giant in Andrew Vaughn and an aging center fielder in Pollock, that's easily held to a double. I think if you get off to a 0-6 start here before the trade deadline, you might see Tony La Russa get yanked. That way, there's a little bit of time to still get somebody in there and make a move before the deadline. But I don't think the White Sox believe that this is their year after the start they've had. Tim Anderson drifting out there. He should have let the center fielder have that one. But either way, that's the 3rd out of the inning. Pollock should be in the corner. There's no reason Pollock should be manning center field at this point in his career. I don't care if Robert is injured or not. But they want his bat in the lineup. They wanted to have a little bit more of an offensive lineup today. And that's what you get. Bad defense. Eloy Jimenez with a couple of bad outfield plays today allowed Ramirez to get the extra base. Allowed Jimenez to get the extra base. Vaughn had questionable defense out there that allowed Straw to get all the way to third. We saw the missed play by Harrison earlier. Sorry, Zach, but I don't think your White Sox are in a good position now. I mean, in my opinion, they really have 2 innings left to get something done. Because I think in the 9th, when Class A comes on, this game is over. He did pitch in the opener or in the first game of this doubleheader, though, so maybe he doesn't pitch the second half. Robert is a missing ingredient to that outfield. He would be a fantastic piece out there in center right now, but he's injured, and they don't really have anybody to replace him. Well, I think that's doing a little bit of disservice to Miles Straw. His defense is better than most major leaguers, don't get me wrong. His bat lags behind, but that speed is real. If he can get it down the line, that's kind of what he did against the Rangers 3 weeks ago when they played the Guardians. That's what we saw him do. Got a big hit late in the game. He was on those playoff teams for Houston. Well, I believe he should have stayed in if he would have been able to retire Ramirez a little bit quicker, or whoever it was that he was facing at the very end. Brian Shaw coming on here for the Guardians. But I think the way the last out went for Lance Lynn, I thought you let him end on a good note and build off of that going forward. That means more to the Chicago White Sox than any one inning in this game. Brian Shaw, a 4-1 record on the year, 5.01 ERA, and 32 1/3 innings pitched. Strike one here to Harrison at the top of the zone. New catcher out there for the Guardians. Luke Maley out. Franmil Reyes pinch hit for him last inning, and Hedges is in there now. Harrison taps out to second, thrown on to first, and is the first out of the inning here. Shaw back with the Indians now. I wouldn't be too worried about Rick Hahn. I think is it Rick Hahn? I think is his name. I think he's got a bright future with the White Sox, but I think they've made some all or nothing bets with the way they've built this lineup. They've got a couple of really good pieces in Robert and Jimenez. Abreu's been fantastic for years, but I think a guy like Vaughn, who's a very good hitter, you just have nowhere to play him as long as you have Abreu. Moncada hasn't lived up to his ability anyway. 1-1 count now to Reese McGuire. I do like the acquisition of Reese McGuire as a catcher. To me, I think Grandal is probably gone within the next year or so. Having a guy like McGuire who can handle the pitching staff in-house will work wonders for them. McGuire lines out here to right, and there are 2 away. I don't think he's necessarily saying we need more of Tony La Russa. I think he's just saying this team should be able to shake out of it. Highest swing percentage in all of baseball, Luis Robert at 64.5%. Tim Anderson at 62.5%. Tells you all you need to know about the change in philosophy from the hitting side of things. If you're a White Sox fan, they are not as patient of a team this year. Well, yeah, they should be. I thought they should have fired him. Trying to remember when it became obvious to me that he needed to be gone probably at the beginning of the season, mainly because of I thought they got the best that they could out of Tony La Russa last year. I thought that he was only going to be with the White Sox to be able to get this young team to be not so young. Well, they're not so young anymore. They need somebody who can manage the modern game, and I don't think Tony La Russa does that as well as some others could. Do I think he's a horrible manager? No. Do I think he's still the Hall of Fame level manager right now? No. Looking across at the other dugout, Terry Francona's learned how to do it two different ways. Once with the Red Sox, where you have the biggest budget in all the world, and now with the Cleveland Guardians, learning how to make the most out of the young talent, squeezing out 4-3 one-run victories all the time, building from that pitching rotation and hoping to have enough runs to be able to field a winning roster. Well, all it takes is a base hit here by Anderson, and that one's a hard hit ball out to right. But Jones is there, and that's the end of the inning. I expect probably Ronaldo Lopez will have to come out here for the 8th. We'll see if he can right the ship anyway. That way you don't have to burn another pitcher. Well, consistency is a fickle thing. I mean, you're going to have months where you're unhittable, even though you're throwing the pitch right down the middle of the plate. And then there's going to be months where you're throwing the pitch right down the middle of the plate and it's getting hit over the fence, 3 out of 4 times. Bullpens are very fickle. That's why one year your bullpen's great. You don't change a single thing out there, and the next year it's the worst bullpen in the majors. Pitching staff can sometimes be as fickle, but not nearly to the level of the bullpen. Injuries have really hampered things for the White Sox, but they haven't built any real homegrown talent. They've traded for it with Giolito and Lopez and Kopech, Lance Lynn. They signed Dallas Keuchel and Johnny Cueto. Cueto has worked out. Dallas Keuchel, of course, is no longer with the team and since has been cut by the Arizona Diamondbacks as well. I don't think the White Sox will sell at the deadline, so I think you're pretty much stuck with what you got. Only thing I think the White Sox might sell is a bullpen piece. Maybe a guy like Kendall Graveman. Sorry, White Sox fans. I know you love having your good bullpen, but if you're not going to be using it, might as well turn it in for what you can get. Just waiting for the 8th to get going. Looks like Joe Kelly is coming out of the bullpen. I mean, even by what you were saying earlier, Zach, though, Ruiz first, then Kelly. I mean, they got to have somebody to pitch the game. It's still only a one-run game, though. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Sox. Appreciate you guys joining us. If you just joined, hit that subscribe button and like. We do a lot of different lives throughout the year. We've done, I think, 5 or 6 baseball games this week. Joe Kelly is on, has pitched in 20 games, 0-2 with a 7.13 ERA. I don't know about that, Zach. I think you make your own luck. They just took advantage of poor fielding and pitches that missed their spot. And that's where we're at. A 4-run top of the 7th. Here in the top of the 8th we are. Naylor due up first. He's 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a flyout. Does have 13 home runs on the year. He will be followed by Andres Jimenez and Nolan Jones. Is he able to hold up on that one in the dirt? He is, and it's 1-1. Got a White Sox fan and a Guardian fan in here. Anybody else a fan of either team? Say hello. Big swing and a miss by Naylor there. In 24 hours, we have managed to lose 3 games and literally knock ourselves into being sellers at the deadline. Zach, it's okay. I think even if you lose the next 6 games in a row, even after losing 3 in a row so far, if you lose this one, say that's 9 in a row out of the All-Star break, that moves you into what you would think would be seller's column, but I don't think you're going to sell any big pieces. So your team should still be very good next year. I mean, the AL Central isn't exactly known for world beaters, and you have the best players in the division on your team. It'll all work out. 2-2 now. Kelly trying to get the first out here in the 8th. Just off the outside corner, a little tapper in front of the home plate, and he is retired. Lost his bucket as he was sprinting down to first. Nice play there by McGuire. Andres Jimenez will be next. Jimenez 2 for 3 on the day, has a double and a single, has scored a run. Average up to 306, 11 home runs, 45 RBIs, and an 857 OPS. Because it's 3 losses. Now, if you're getting in the territory of 10 losses, then that's something a GM will start to take notice of whether or not you're losing the team, or is your message still getting across? Is it your management that's causing these losses? As a Ranger fan, there's more than a few fans out there that think that Chris Woodward has handled the bullpen terribly over the past week and a half before the All-Star break. That's kind of why they think they went on the skid. And I'll be right there with them. I think that Woodward stuck with his pitchers a little too long in almost every instance, trying to give them a chance to dig out of the hole they dug for themselves, and it didn't work almost every single time. Sticking with Adolis Garcia in the lineup when he was like 3 for 51. Managers go through bad stretches just like players. La Russa, I do think, probably should have been gone earlier in the season, though. But just after getting a vote of confidence during the All-Star break, 3 games is not going to cost him his job. 1-2 now to Jimenez with 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Now, if we're talking 10 straight losses, then you might have a different conversation. Swing and a miss. Great pitch there by Joe Kelly. Gets the strikeout. With that strikeout, he's lowered his ERA down to 6.87. Good job by Kelly here. Zach Kelly, before this, had a 7.13 ERA coming into the game. You can't tell me he's one of the best relievers in the game when he has that high of an ERA. Tells me he's probably missed some time this year, and that's why his ERA was so high to begin with. You don't put those type of pitchers in high leverage situations. A barehanded catch there by Kelly on the throw back to him from the catcher. Nice catch. 1-0 now to Jones. Jones 0 for 3 on the day. You do have a lot of good bullpen arms to turn to out there. At least you did at the beginning of the season. But it's all on paper. Bullpens are fickle. And like you said, Liam Hendricks was kind of roughed up in the first game of this doubleheader. You think he's a top 5 closer. Even he has his rough day. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. 2-1 here. Appreciate you guys joining us. Cleveland has stormed back to a 4-3 lead after a 4-run 7th inning. That one probably should have been a strike. That one looked all the way in the zone. Getting squeezed a little bit here is Kelly. Of course, he squeezed Lance Lynn at the beginning of the game as well. So he has squeezed that zone at times. The set and the pitch. Swing and a miss. A beautiful pitch there. Kelly had to remind Reese McGuire that there's 2 strikes, not 3. He was about to whip that ball around the diamond. McGuire's a little confused on the count, just like everybody else, apparently. But the count is 3-2, just to be clear, with 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. This will be the 15th pitch of the inning for Kelly. Good pitch there off the inside corner. Fouled away by Jones. Remains 3-2. Hey, I wouldn't even be arguing balls and strikes anymore at this point. I would just, instead of arguing balls and strikes, just say, hey, this is exactly why we need robo-umps, and leave it at that. Then we don't have any more of these issues. They're calling that one a foul ball, I suppose. Remains 3-2. Home plate umpire may or may not even set up behind home plate anymore. He may set up off to the side so that way he can see if the batter went around all the way. Of course, then he might have to worry about being hit by a foul ball right at him. That might hurt a little bit. Long look in here for Kelly. It's like he's waiting for Jones to step out. And he finally makes him. Well, I think the worst umpiring game of the year so far was done by Angel Hernandez, where he missed 28 balls and strikes, ball strike calls in the game. That's the worst of the umpires. So if you're only having like 6 or 7, while they might be impactful, you can imagine how 28 would be even more so. Nice off-speed pitch by Kelly there. Gets the strikeout. Jones caught looking all the way. And we go to the bottom half of the 8th. It'll be Moncada, Vaughn, and Abreu. We'll see if Vaughn can make up for that defensive gaffe earlier. Four runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the White Sox. The no errors in the game doesn't really tell the story of the game, though. Cleveland has played some great defense at times in the game. Meanwhile, the White Sox on the other side have allowed the Guardians to take the extra base at almost every turn so far. We'll see if they address the makeup of this team in the offseason. But for right now, got to make the best of what you got. Kind of a cool story. Sabrina Ionescu of the WNBA. I don't follow the WNBA almost at all. The only reason I know Sabrina Ionescu's name is because of her connection with Kobe Bryant. Well, apparently she just hit a game-winning shot and went over and hugged the Bryant family after doing so. That's pretty cool. So for those of you who are Kobe Bryant fans, maybe you've heard of Sabrina Ionescu. That's a cool moment for that family. Just waiting for him to get back from commercial break. Thank you guys for joining us again. Should have training camp starting up in a couple of days anyway in the NFL. So a lot of NFL content headed your way soon. Trade deadline on the 2nd. We'll have a lot of that content early on, as training camps will mainly just be walkthroughs and that kind of thing. Won't be anything real to report yet, at least until middle of August. That one's just off the corner. Might have touched the outside of the zone, but Shaw gets the call there, and it's 0-1. Seems to be calling the right side of the plate a little bit more frequently than the left. Moncada 1 for 2 on the day. Did work that bases loaded walk earlier that allowed a run to score. Moncada switching around now to the left side with the righty on the mound now. The pitch. Hard hit ball right into his foot, though, and it's 1-2. Moncada hitting .213 on the year. 607 OPS. Really appreciate you guys joining us here on a Saturday evening. Almost 9 o'clock here Central Time. Shaw set and the pitch. Beautiful pitch there. Right on the inside corner. Moncada just looks away in disgust. But that was a fantastic pitch. Just the way you draw it up if you're Brian Shaw. Beautiful. Right at the knees, right on the corner. It'll be Andrew Vaughn next. Like I said, needs to make up for that poor defensive play that allowed the Guardians to take the extra base. First pitch swinging, fouls it off down the first base line. Vaughn hitting .296 on the year, 10 homers, 49 RBIs. He's 0 for 3 on the day. 800 OPS coming in. Right on the inside corner. Shaw is really dotting those corners, though. 0-2. Well, don't mess with blurred vision. That ain't no joke. Speaking as somebody who's lost his sight for 6 weeks before and got lucky to get it back, you take that kind of thing seriously. You got to wonder more about what's causing it than anything else. Got to wonder if it was a concussion or something. Maybe an illness. 1-2 now. Vaughn laces this one down the right field line. It drops. It goes into the corner. Rattles around, and a misplay here by Jones as he's out of position as well. He's a third baseman by trade. And will Vaughn stop at second? He will. It does not take advantage of it. Got to wonder why they're playing Jones out there in right. He is more of a third baseman by trade. Maybe they moved him out there after he didn't make it at third base, I suppose, but he came up as a third baseman from what I remember. I remember looking at him as a possible trade piece that the Rangers could target if the Indians, or back then the Indians were to go after one of the Rangers at the time because they were selling at a deadline when I was looking up Nolan Jones's information. Jose Abreu up there, 0 for 3 on the day, has looked really uncomfortable in the box, though, today. Takes outside ball 1. All it takes, though, is one big swing here, and the White Sox are right back in front. They got the right guys up there to do it. White Sox got 2 different ones loosening. Martin, the righty, is out there loosening. This one, a great pitch by Shaw, trails off outside the zone, but Abreu couldn't hold up, and it's 1-1. Didn't see who the other reliever was loosening. Guardians have Hentges loosening in the bullpen. Should Shaw continue to get into a little bit more trouble. That one's well outside in the other batter's box anyway, and it's 2-1. The one surprising thing in this game, we haven't seen too many of those really wide pitches so far today, where they're all the way in the other batter box. This game has been fairly well pitched by both teams, keeping the ball around the zone. 2-1 here to Abreu. That one's low and away, and it's 3-1. Engel is on deck. It's a little bit surprising. That one's ball 4. Let's see which direction they go. Do they keep Jimenez in? Nope. Or maybe he came on as a defensive replacement. He was already in the lineup, according to MLB.TV. Maybe they substituted Jimenez. Huh. I'll check on it, see if there's any news, but strike 1 there. Engel is in. The pitch by Shaw down in the dirt. Nice block there by Austin Hedges. White Sox are pursuing a trade for Jose Quintana. That news just coming out about a day ago anyway, but I don't see anything about Eloy Jimenez on Twitter. We'll see. Maybe it was just a defensive replacement. That pitch is hit hard out into left. Not deep enough, though, to be a homer. Vaughn bluffs a move over to third. 2 on, 2 away here as Quan makes the play. Maybe it was just a defensive replacement. Grandal due up next. He's 1 for 3. Base hit his last time up. 196 average, 2 homers. Has hit well in these 2 games of this doubleheader. Went 3 for 4 in the first game. Now 1 for 3 so far in this one. That one's upstairs, and it's ball 1. I think they probably pulled him as a defensive replacement. I wonder if they pulled him after he hit that home run going into the 7th. If that's when they pulled him, I understand the move. If they pulled him after, I would have thought it was injury related. But they didn't make any type of announcement that he was pulled. A little bit surprising, honestly. Fouled off by Grandal, and it's 1-1. Vaughn out there at second, Abreu at first. Should Grandal get a base hit here, A.J. Pollock would be next, followed by Josh Harrison. That one's well upstairs, and it's 2-1. Well, it makes sense because of his poor defensive play earlier in the game. With a 3-0 lead, it makes sense to bring in Engel. But that was a little early, in my opinion, to go for a defensive replacement. But La Russa does things a different way. Shaw up to 29 pitches. They're really making him work now. He did record a 1-2-3 7th. Out for his second inning of work. Swing and a miss. Grandal chases that one above the zone. Again, White Sox hitters this year have not been patient at all. Maybe it's a change in philosophy as far as being more aggressive in the count, that kind of thing. I think it's worked to their detriment this year. The set by Shaw, the pitch, well upstairs, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Looks like he lost his release point as he tried to do a little bit of a quick pitch on that one. White Sox would love to get Pollock up there. The set and the pitch. Ooh, that one was real close. Just off the outside corner and up, but it was a ball. Bases are going to be loaded, and here comes Terry Francona. We will have a pitching change. It will be Hinches, I believe, coming out of the bullpen. Shaw gave him everything he's got, ending in 2/3, but he leaves with the bases full. Something like that, anyway. Okay, now, I wouldn't say they're in a bad situation. They got a good professional contact hitter with the bases loaded. If he makes contact and he gets a base hit, 2 runs likely score. Well, I mean, you got Josh Harrison and McGuire after him. Pollock is your best option out of those 3 to get a hit. Your next is probably McGuire and then Harrison. But I'd rather count on A.J. Pollock being able to figure things out. I mean, he's 1 for 3 on the day. Give him a chance. Ooh, it's not going to be Hinches. It's going to be Nick Sandlin that's going to come in. Well, yeah, I thought he would have been starting this game, honestly, instead of maybe a guy like Harrison or maybe Grandal would have gotten the second leg of this doubleheader off. But to me, Robert would have been fantastic in this series. He'd have been fantastic at any time because I think he's probably the MVP candidate on this roster when healthy. Followed closely probably by Jimenez when he's right, but he hasn't been right all year. But if you're just joining us, 4-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Guardians making a pitching change, going with Nick Sandlin. A.J. Pollock will be up. I'd rather have the ability of McGuire. He's a very good hitting catcher. I'd rather have McGuire in there than Zavala. Might be just me, but I really like. I'm a little biased though on Reese McGuire. I wanted him. There's sites that you can go to like MLB Trade Value or whatever it was that I used to do like trades between teams for baseball teams. It's very tough to find like a trade simulator like ESPN's Trade Machine or Fanspo anyway that allows you to do that. But they'll have a little calculator anyway. And Reese McGuire was always one of the pieces I wanted just because I loved his potential. He was always consistently ranked in the top 10 minor league catchers in the game. Just never really got any run in the bigs, but now he's getting a chance here with the White Sox. Sandlin is in. We're about ready to get going here. Everybody on the top step of the dugout for this one. The pitch. Little bouncer foul down the third base line, and it's 0-1. Sandlin's set. The 0-1 pitch. The sidearm. Hard hit, right to third base, unable to be fielded and into left field. 1 run is in, 2 runs are going to score. White Sox take a 5-4 lead. I told you he was a professional hitter. Hard hit ball right at Clement, wasn't able to dig it out, and defense coming back to bite the Guardians now. Got to wonder if that one's going to go as a hit or an error, but either way, the White Sox take the lead on this one. Hard hit ball right down the line. Got over there in plenty of time. Looks like that hop might have gotten him at the last minute. Looks like it came up a little higher than he thought it was going to. Caught him on the heel of the glove, bounced up over his head into short left field, and Abreu came sprinting around third base. Zach, you kept saying the game was over, all is lost. They're going to lose 3 games in a row. Well, now they've come back and take the lead, 5-4. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner. Larry Garcia comes on. He is going to pinch run for Grandal. Good move there. Get a little bit more speed out there at second to get the insurance run. I like that one. Josh Harrison due up next. 0 for 3 on the day. Hard hit ball. This one well foul, though. And it's 0-1. Harrison knows he missed a chance there. Harrison, 234 on the year, 4 homers, 18 RBIs, and a 673 OPS. He's grounded out twice today and flown out. Foster is loosening out there in the bullpen. So it looks like they will not use Graveman or Hendricks in the nightcap of this one. It will be Matt Foster instead. 0-2 now on Harrison. Appreciate you guys joining us. Nope, it ain't over till it's over. Hard hit ball popped up into deep right field, back a few steps, and Jones makes the catch, and the inning is over. But not before the White Sox come back and get 2 more here in the bottom of the 8th, redeeming themselves for their poor defense earlier. Guardians with a little bit of poor defense of their own, and they cough up the lead. The White Sox got out to a 3-0 lead early, a solo shot by Eloy Jimenez in the 6th, and it was 3-0. Lance Lynn pitched 6 scoreless innings. The bullpen came in the 7th and promptly gave up 4 in the top of the 7th. Here in the bottom of the 8th, Pollock comes through with a smash to third base that allows a couple of runners to score. We'll see how they end up scoring it as a hit or an error. For now, though, it looks like they are going to score it as a hit. That's the difference in the game right now. Joe Kelly came on and shut things down in the last inning for the White Sox. We'll see if they stick with him for a little bit or if they go with Matt Foster. But thank you guys for joining us. Really appreciate all the support. Hit that like button if you're joining us. Going to the top of the 9th. Become a little bit of a back and forth game over the last 3 innings. Follow us on Twitter at UpsideSN anyway. That way you'll be notified whenever we do another one of these lives or whenever we do post a short video. Tomorrow we'll be doing a doubleheader. We'll be doing the Cubs-Phillies game early on, 11 o'clock Central. And then in the nightcap, we'll be doing the Padres and Mets game. If there is time between the two, we may pull off another one, but we might use that time to make a few of the short videos that I've got in the hopper anyway. I literally got 3 pages of shorts I need to get made anyway. Downside of working open to close all week, I haven't been able to make those shorts that I would like to. Four runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the White Sox. It is Matt Foster coming on. He will face Clement, Hedges, and Straw. This is where things got started anyway for the Guardians in the in the 7th. So we'll see if they can get a little bit more success here. Appreciate you guys joining us. He pitched in the first game. My guess is he's unavailable in the second game. Foster in 40 games has a 1-2 record, 5.11 ERA and 37 innings pitched, 12 walks and 37 strikeouts. First pitch well outside of the zone, ball 1. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Foster handles the save situation here. Can he rise to the challenge? We'll see. He's only facing 7, 8, and 9. Nothing too scary. The big pinch hit bat of Franmil Reyes has already been exhausted. That one misses upstairs, and it's 2-0. White Sox are 39-1 when leading after the 8th inning. The pitch by Foster. Just off the outside corner by about an inch or 2, and it's 3-0. Struggling to hit his spot here out of the bullpen. Got to think it's fresh in the mind of all White Sox players what happened in the first game of the doubleheader. Right down the middle, 93-mile-an-hour fastball grooved there, and it's 3-1. Kelly was an option, but maybe they just didn't want to use him. Wanted him to build off of what he did in that inning. So, if, worst case scenario, even if the White Sox lose, they got a couple of good things out of this game. That one's outside, ball 4. 5-pitch walk there, and Foster's unhappy with himself on that one. Missed his spot again. And it will be Austin Hedges. Tying runner is on. Hedges this year hitting 176, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, and a 507 OPS. He is a double play candidate, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Appreciate all 10 of you guys joining us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe as well. Hedges fouls that one back on a bunt attempt there, trying to move the runner over. Playing a little bit of small ball here. And it's 0-1. Now you'd think the White Sox will be wise to it, and they'll draw in the corners, play double play depth up the middle. And that is what they are doing. Moncada in at the corner, along with Abreu. The pitch by Foster, a little bunt attempt. Nice play by McGuire, flips on to first, but the runner does move over to second. Good sacrifice bunt. One away here in the top of the 9th. Miles Straw, who had that big hit in his last at-bat, is due up next. Great piece of bunting there by Hedges. Just let the ball hit the bat. Catch it with the bat. That's all you're doing, and he did that perfectly there. RBI triple for Miles Straw in his last at-bat. Hitting .214 on the year, no homers, 15 RBIs, and a .578 OPS. Has scored a run in the game as well. The set by Foster. And the pitch. That one's low, ball 1. Nice stop there. It's definitely a safe situation. These type of situations are different for every player. Everybody handles them differently. We'll see how Foster reacts. His third batter of the inning, you got to think he's into the game now at least. Not necessarily stuck in his head. The set by Foster. And the pitch. That one goes low, and it's 2-0. Certainly don't want to walk Straw here, as if he gets on, he's very speedy. Base hit in a gap might score him from first. So you don't want to necessarily pitch around him, even though he did hit the triple the last time up. Kwan would be next, followed by Rosario, should we get that far. The set and the pitch. Right down the middle, a little tapper to second, flipped on to first, and there are 2 away. However, with that, Clement moves over to third. Pass ball or a wild pitch would score a run, so you got to be careful about that. Kwan's been good in this game as well. 1 for 4, had that RBI single in the 7th. That tied it. Cats coming out here to chat with their young reliever. Pressure field situation, just letting him know, hey, you got a little bit better defense out there now behind you. Don't worry too much about it. You don't need a strikeout. Just throw strikes. Because after him, Rosario hit a triple earlier in this game. He's 1 for 4. And then Jose Ramirez is 2 for 4. Umpire comes out to Break it up. Cleveland this year with runners in scoring position are hitting 266 tonight, right about their career or about their season average at 2 for 8. We'll see what happens here. Base hit, though, and this game is at least going to see a bottom of the ninth. We'll see what happens. The first pitch in the dirt. Nice stop there by McGuire. Able to spear it right in front of the right on the dirt. And it's 1-0. A walk to Kwan would not be the worst thing, but then you have to worry about Rosario and then Ramirez. Does not get easier here. The set by Foster and the pitch. This one well inside, and it's 2-0. Looks like the nerves are starting to get to Foster. Kwan shaking his head, saying, "Nuh-uh. You ain't hitting me. I want a base hit." The 2-0. Foster set and the pitch. Hard hit ball by Kwan down the right field line, off the netting, foul ball. That was very close. He would have been running for a while as the defense was shifted around towards left field, not right. Because as good as Kwan is, Rosario is better, and then Ramirez is even better than that. That's why you don't intentionally walk Kwan. 2-1 here. The set and the pitch. Fouled off down the left field line this time, out of play, and it's 2-2. Guardians down to their final strike here. White Sox faithful rising to their feet, cheering as loud as they possibly can. See if they can mess with Kwan. 14 pitches so far for Foster this inning. The pitch. Hard hit ball right to Harrison at the top of his glove. Makes a beautiful catch. Makes up for that defensive gaffe earlier, and the game is over. Great job by Josh Harrison. 5-4 victory for the White Sox. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Sox. A.J. Pollock with a game-winning RBI double, or a 2-run RBI single anyway. That is your game-winning play of the day. Beautiful play by Harrison there, making up for that defensive gaffe that he had off the top of his glove earlier in the game. That one a little bit lower and easier to handle, and the game is over. A good start by Lance Lynn, 6 shutout innings. That was all for naught after the bullpen came in and gave up 4 in the 7th. After the White Sox came out to a 3-0 lead with Eloy Jimenez hitting a solo home run in the 6th. It was 4-3 going into the 8th when A.J. Pollock hit that 2 RBI single anyway that made our score 5-4, and Matt Foster anyway came in and shut things down in the 9th. Great win for the White Sox today. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate all the likes, all the comments we got. Nice conversation with you, Zach and Alan. If you guys are joining us for the first time, don't be afraid to message us in the chat. Let us know which team you'd like us to do a live of next. But tomorrow we'll be doing the Cubs at 11 o'clock against the Phillies, and the Padres against the Mets in the nightcap. So make sure you keep it here to the upside. We'll be posting some short videos tomorrow as well. So thank you guys for joining us on a Saturday evening. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see you tomorrow night, or tomorrow morning anyway. Have a good one.